Quick look in this. Boring. This is what I need to do. Is work out. Go with that.
My name is Percy Jackson. Hey, Isk.
Like a screenshot earlier. I need to do a better livery on this. So, bop. $60, $75. It's always the same. 25, 45, 4. Apart from this, 423, 60, 3.5, 10, 30. Right, okay. But no, I need these. So it's 443 break. Actually, I better do it on this one because it doesn't affect the power graph. 443. Okay. And 1335. I can never be bothered to actually work that out. 4753. 4753. 53.7 torque. 41502 pp. Was that for 1485? Because Gran Turismo 7. 120. 400, 600. 400, 600. That's right. It just gives you a little bit less PP. It's so good, isn't it? Right. Data logger. But most of all, time delta. I need to find out if you're supposed to ride the curbs on this track or not. Because the demonstration lap says no. I'll go for riding curves first because that's what I think you're supposed to do. Oh shit, though. Because it lets you ride loads without getting penalties. past that though. And I think you need to be in the 153s, certainly 154s. You do have to delay the throttle a little bit though if you go over the curbs. That's deep. Oh. Hold on, 130, 136, I don't know. So I reckon that wider entry to the second part of those chicanes is so much the better way to go. That's a load of time now though. But yeah, that's a lot of time in that exit. See, violence. How do I sometimes get down into first gear for that braking point? It's so strange. So you have to delay the throttle. So that's my camera's not working. It's not though, that's weird. And work out braking points. How can riding the curb on turn 1 not be faster, or the fastest way, because you're not actually on the throttle? This might be different. Oops. Ooh, was that an invisible wall there? That seemed like an invisible wall. Behaved like an invisible wall. I wonder if it's worth just putting your foot down anyway out of that corner. See what happens. Need consistency as well, and consistency over curbs is hard. If you're going to ride the curbs on that last bit though, ride the curbs fully, properly. You want to do that on hard tyres. Oh, I was about to say it let me get away with that. Can't ride their curbs either. Might as well just wipe that out. Yeah, you might just have to stay away from the throttle whilst you're in the process of riding the curbs. Yeah, and you can't put your foot down on that bit. Back end starting to go. And you can just run out of track. I have noticed, like there. Surely penalty. Yeah. And that little lift doesn't appear to work. See, look, I didn't ride that curb and hook that wheel up and inside. It's getting loads of time there. Need to practice the exit out of that hairpin as well. That's so critical, isn't it? Let's try. Well, it's not gonna make it. If I do. Let's try a lap riding the curves. And then try a lap, or a load of laps without riding the curves. But surely you have to ride them in turn one. I mean, you cut so much that corner. Breaking point down there as well. Little twitch on the exit. Never a good thing. Fuck's sake. Yeah, it might be. Oh, shit. Doesn't reset it. Right, so still a bit of curb riding. I missed that completely. Should be braking slightly earlier, slightly longer. Even that slight touch of those curbs is still enough to send the back ender in. No, just the slightest touch of that inside curb. Fucking hell. Understeer out, you fucking dirty piece of shit. Whoa! Yep, and still the slightest touch of that inside curb, even though it's away from the sausage curbs. Almost impossible to spin turn these cars because GT7 physics. Yeah, I wonder if you want to open that exit out. Might have only gained a tiny little bit of time. Can't believe how even the slightest touch of the curbs, whether you ride them hugely or not, doesn't pick you up any time either. Yeah, there is an invisible wall there. I just clipped it again. visible walls here. No. So even then I didn't gain any time. So maybe ride the first one and not the second one. Nah. Curb riding. Oh, wow, how much time did I lose on that? 2/10 just vanished. So I launch first one. Yeah, fuck's sake. Can't launch the first one that much. Thought it might. Second gear might be able to put your foot down earlier and longer. Nope. Yeah, it doesn't matter how little of those, some of these curbs you ride, the back end is still going to come out. Yeah, well, maybe not. I thought I picked up a bit of time there, but I didn't. Wide in, tight out does seem to be the way to go on that hairpin though. Nope, still drops time. It's just like the first curve somehow seems to upset the second, which is weird. It's almost like you got temporary dirty tyres. So what am I going to do here? Ride and not ride. Yes, ride and not ride. Don't get the power on too early there. Ride, not ride. Still don't know. Still don't know. Oops. So I think it's ride and not ride on all the curbs. Let's try do some laps like that. Yeah. You do have to get the tighter exit for that hairpin. Yeah, ride and not ride, look. You need the not ride to be able to get the power down. Ride and not ride. Well, kind of read it a bit too much, but you know what I mean. Seems to be where the lap time is, isn't it? Yep, ride and not ride. Just keep your foot down anyway. Oh, what I'll do. 35s. I'm doing the watch the thing back, but really. I mean, you know, could have used more exit curb there and I think I missed turn 1 completely actually in the slap, didn't I? Yeah. So that was a not ride. It really needs to be ride, not ride. So your entry into the chicane doesn't matter because you're not at the throttle. And the car's only really unbalanced when you're trying to accelerate and you're bouncing over curbs. So you can abuse the curbs on the way into a corner, but on the way out, stay away from them. Rid that one too much though. Fact. That did affect me getting the power down. I had to lift a little bit. And this seems to work with it. Didn't look like a wide in tight out at all actually. I think properly wide in tight out on the hairpin might work, but they don't do it in real life though. So throttle should be off first bit because you can't, and then second bit fully on. I didn't save the other lap, did I? Yeah. Well, what do you do? Save best lap. What I probably can do how do you load a ghost from? No, it's like the fixed run sport. I'm on this now, aren't I? How do you load Ghost? Okay, do that. Display name, blah, blah, blah. I can't load a ghost from anything else. But the delta's enough. The delta's enough. The overall lap time's enough. You can't put the power down without when you're bouncing over a curb. Makes sense. So because of chicanes, you bounce over the first one, but you don't need to put the power down, and you can still keep focusing, lining yourself up for the second one where you don't ride it as much, so you can put the power down. And there you go. Why is my camera not displaying? Don't know. But I bet if you pick a GT4 car, that's not what I'm going to do. What is this? And I don't know what GT4 car I've got with a bop setup. What have I got? Aston Martin I might have. But you're never going to use that. What have I got with a bop setup? Bop setup, bop setup, bop setup. Have I got to do it? I wonder if I might have one in this. No. just think what I've used for a league race recently, possibly that, but yeah, yes. Yeah, 296, that looks about right. Shit car, but you know, whatever. Now I guess in the GT4s I gotta be much more about riding the curbs. Especially front wheel drive cars, which aren't gonna care. Only one way to find out. That's why I'm here. Got at least loads of understeer now. I'm still going to run you into the wall. Maybe it's ride, not ride on every single chicane in every single car. This is going to be understeer. Yep. Catastrophic understeer. It's got to be them. Oh my god. This car's horrible. It's the only one I got a box set up on, so. Nah, I might have one. So I got one on the Aston Martin. I might have one on the GTR as well. Can't do GT4 cars, I mean, if you cross the line in the lead, the game crashes. Marvellous. All it does is spin the front wheels, but the car sort of still heads in the same direction. There's no good replays actually, I think, riding curves. Two wheels in the air. Get in there, you bitch. So should I ride, not ride? Oh god. If you can combat the understeer. Ride, not ride. Whoa, penalty. Ooh. Ooh. What was that for? Was that the way in or the way out? Bloody hell. Was that the way in or the way out? So 10 seconds, no, it's less than 10 seconds slower than the GT4 car, the GT3 car. Man, there's some serious understeer in the way of the corners in this. Can't believe. Just try exactly the same braking points as GT3. It pretty much is on other tracks. It's going to be brake too early though. Airborne. Level them out. It's still quicker. No, it wasn't. Right. Ride. Not ride. It's still too much of a ride. It launches though, doesn't it? And if it's just simply down to downforce levels, it launches a hell of a lot more on the way in. Ride, not ride. Yeah, same thing, look. Even more. It's about 3/10 or more. Yeah, you can't ride it and put your foot down, it just understeers out. Yeah, where was that penalty? It wasn't from going right out on the edge of that exit curb then. You'd think the wall would be penalty enough. Ride. Same thing, innit? Same thing. Delta tells you more than anything else will. So let's try no curb riding. Thing is, that exit felt way too slow, and it was. No riding. Exit's just too slow. No riding. Oh, couldn't help himself. At least the track limit's alright though. And that was all on the exit, wasn't it? And there's proof that if you miss the apex on that hairpin, that's not a major problem. It's all about the exit. It's still slow. Hard track to use. by doing that, you're just not using all the track and it just feels wrong. But look at that for an exit. I was saying the 45 is where you want to be. Ride, not ride. Ride, not ride. I lost time still. But if you can keep your foot flat on those exits, see if that's a penalty. Yes, right, okay, so that's what I did before. I used too much curb on the way in. And I think that was going over the too much of the rev bit. And another one. I was going to say that was nice and quick over there, but sadly illegal. But yeah, it's definitely about getting that power down early, even in a front wheel drive car. Now that hairpin. It's about what? Half a tenth of a second there. What the hell? Waste of a lap though, really, because I cancelled the penalty, yeah, but still. You lose too much time, you gain it all back. And really getting out here, it's all about trying to get as much power down out of that second part of that chicane as early as you can without having to lift. So 43 is definitely going to be target lap, aren't they? But I think it's the same tactic there, it's ride the first one, not the second one. Exactly not like that. Gained loads on the way in, but lost even more on the way out. You need to try and delay getting under throttle a little bit so you can get a little bit more round that second part of the chicane before you get into it. The only difference I would say is riding that second curve. I bet you could straddle it. I bet you could straddle it. Just pull that hutch. Too much, that'd be a penalty as well. Well, maybe not. That's a good one. That's the lap you want. Damn, crap exit. Yeah, definitely a case of put your foot down anyway, just anyway. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well, never mind. I'll just save. So let's have a go in. I've got. Well, no, I've got that with a bop setup. Oh. Have I? I thought I did. No, I haven't. Oh, bollocks. This I have, that's what that is. 339. 1350 kilos, so I'm gonna edit that to, because it might be. Oh, what else have I got with the bop setup? Bop setup. Ooh, might possibly be this. $393. $318. I would have saved these as bop as well. So why hasn't that been saved? Manu Wigan had. What else have I done league races in? League races. I think that's it. Recently, league races. This didn't actually do a league race, but I set it up for a league race. No, it's 410. Bollocks. I'm gonna have to do a public lobby race to set it up, aren't I? For fuck's sake. Well, let's pick a completely different car then for that. Let's pick one of the meta cars, which should be good for getting the power down out of curbs. I've got a default, but not a bop. Okay, well, I can sort that out. First though, I'm gonna need a piss. This is such a ball ache having to do this in this game. Check in network environment. Of course it'll do that. Why wouldn't it do that? Let's have a quick look, actually. No, I don't know what that is then. Nope. Well, it crashes anyway. See, everyone says Yas Marine is a shit track, but they're obviously preferring it over Gilles Villeneuve. Which is a little bit fucked up, really, isn't it? But I must admit, I prefer Yas Marina as well. Because curb riding is always a lottery. It's just the most full. Only 7 people. What am I doing? Oh, I've got that video I did, but I've got all the bop settings. In fact, I might even have the screenshots. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I deleted them. But find that video. It'll be on my YouTube channel, won't it? Mind you, by the time I found it and looked at what I want, it would have been quicker just to do this. There you go. GT7, every bop car setup. What was I going to do in? That car. There you go. That's the reason I did it. Well, they still change things anyway. Oh, a minute. Is that one I just set up for turn? No, it's the same. Okay. So, 5, 5, 25 figures, all the same. 3, 3, 3.5, 3, 10, 20, 5, 30, 20, 200, 300. That's the only thing then is the power, which is 327. Huh. And 1411 kilos. .2. It's 42.4. That's probably closer. 2 up or 2 down. Ballast. It's at 1411. So 52.48. 52.48. It's close as it gets, really, isn't it? So this car should be faster, if only because I should better ride the curves more. Would like to do that, but you can't. I know, it's more bouncy, isn't it? But say, I should be able to get the power down more though, even though it's going to be bouncy. says that. Might even just come down to how much power you can get down out of the hairpin. Not like that, won't be, no? That'd be an absolute disgrace if this car's still quicker on that lap. But it could be, because it's still, even though it's been debuffed, it's still up there with the fastest of the GT4 cars. Just undisturbed, putting the fire down. Yeah. That's a crap exit, huh? Yep, penalty. No. Lost loads there, though, didn't I? Physics. Yeah, it's more bouncy over the curbs. I still think it's ride, then not ride. Annoyingly between second and third gear that last chicane. It even bounces over that first bit. Not much quicker though, there. It could be fairly even. No, you can't ride that first curve as much. It won't. Just won't let you. Just won't let you. I mean, that bad exit hitting the rev limit on that first lap only cost me 3/10. Oh, looks it. 2.5. See, bouncing is all well and good to launch through the curves to shorten the track, but it's no good if you can't put the power down because the car's too busy bouncing around. That was spot on though. You could just get the power down so much earlier going around there, as we expected. But this curve, might be a not ride than ride. It's not faster. Not like I expected it would be. Because it's just too up in the air over the curbs. It just won't handle the curbs. It's just refusing to do it. It's just oscillating. Dampers are wrong. Oh, oops. For fuck's sake. It's just insane how early you can get on the power through there though. It's like the second part of the chicane doesn't exist. No, that didn't save me time. Lost time. I tell you, if there's a track where this car is actually at a disadvantage, that's good, because I hate this car. Everyone uses it and it's such a cheat. But it is, just put your foot down anyway, even if it's bouncing, just put your foot down anyway. Too late on the power. Understeer. That really is the case, just fuck it, just stick your foot down. Front wheel drive cars and this are going to be very different. Penalty? No. That was very close to straddling that sausage curve. So 44 dead. What was it? About 43.6 and a Megane. What about just full launch? No. Nope, can't do full launch. That was just skyward, that was. Still not going to change the lap time much, is it? Nope, you can't launch. Yep. There might be a perfect amount of cut in that second part of that chicane, but okay, no. Yeah, picked up time. Yep, that's faster with a... Doing it in second gear with no gear shift. Oops. I hate this car. That'll do. There's yeah, 3/10 in there at least. Just because I did that shit exit at the chicane. But now I've forgotten even how you pause it. Pause. Right, what we'll do. It's hard, nearly a full second quicker. Wow. So yellows began. Carried more speed in, but the G70 had more power on the way, but only slightly. Only slightly. And incredibly even on the exit despite going to put the power down more. Wow. And both rode that curb. G70 gets the power down earlier. Again. Ooh, how interesting. Right, let's go back there. How do you do it? Oh, that way. The cars. And that's in the way in. So I braked harder and then began to get the turn, but the G70 went in with more speed. But on the way out, me thinking I'm just standing on the throttle. So, yeah, interesting. So carried more speed in the... And the G70, but I was on the brakes for longer. So there's only more speed there. So, and they're both kind of apexing at a similar sort of speed in the 50s. But I thought... oh, you can't do throttle. So although I got on the throttle earlier, but it can't zoom in on that circuit map because I can't. That's on the, yeah, it's on the way in. So I was on the throttle earlier as you're going around it, but I had to lift a little bit. Whereas I began, put my foot down, but then I couldn't and had to lift momentarily. So although I was hard on the throttle and the G70 gear change, and Megane, I had to, that, yeah, still flat on the throttle with the gear change. With the Megane, I had to lift to avoid the wall, and lift again, and lift again. And I'm guessing that's me, and that's wheel spin, and still wheel spin. Yeah, how interesting. Coming into why is the circuit? Oh, it is updating. Okay, now I was just fed on the brakes in the G70. Whereas the Megane, I just stood on it. But there's sort of trailing off on the brakes. But wow, look at that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going brake and then I'm going like this. But going to the graph, I'm going brake and I'm going up, 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 up. I do it in both cars. I mean, if you zoomed out, it's like, yeah, you trailed the brakes. But if you zoomed in, it's like, oh my god, that's just diabolical. And it's like, wow, my trail braking and throttle is hopelessly bad. That's wheel spin in the G70. That's riding the first bit of the curb, isn't it? The Gamma's a lot happier. And the power, I'm earlier on the power and the Megane because the G70's bouncing around still. And I'm guessing that's what that wiggly line is bouncing around. I had to lift mid corner. Yeah, I was doing that. As the G70, I could just go flat on the power. Now, this should be the big difference. So I'm braking a little bit early in the Megane. Again, I lifted and reapplied. And fed on the brakes a bit more realistically. Just stand on it. And then that's interesting, that bit though, on the Megane. How did I feed the brakes on and then just not stand on them? And I fed them on again in real time. It's a tenth of a second. And then on the way out, power. Yeah, look at that. G70 full power. And then I lifted off. And then I reapplied. What gear was I in there? That's our first, yeah. No, so the gear change isn't until, yeah, there. That's the gear change. So again, is this wheel spin? That must be wheel spin. Reapplied the brakes in the middle of the corner. I'm sure it's doing weird things that I never did. So I was on the throttle and the brake at the same time according to that. Or no, actually I was trying to put the power on, lifted the brakes a little bit, then decided I couldn't, and then reapplied the power and the brakes. Sorry, I reapplied the brakes. I wonder if this is downshifts. Is this throttle blipping on downshifts? Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's what it is. It's throttle blipping on downshifts. Man, that's going to be difficult to make. It's going to make it difficult for these graphs to read with that. So that's what it was. But for some reason, I lifted both times on the brakes a little bit and then reapplied again. Now I'm getting on throttle. And I'm getting on the throttle, but only a tad earlier. Applied it more progressively. Although not very progressively. In them again. And then earlier on the brakes, because I had to be, it's a heavier car. And the G70 was slower. But was trailing off the brakes sooner. Then trailed off and then reapplied. Look at this throttle trace. I tell you what, if this is accurate, centripetal acceleration, left right. That's the first bit. It's the second bit. Whack on the throttle. Dab the brakes again. Just before. Did I? I'm sure it's making stuff up. Why would I dab the brakes again just before going? I wouldn't. I'd have been. So you need to watch the replay really to match that up. I mean, dabbing the brakes again? No, it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't. And a massive lift on the throttle and a dab. So it's like, oh, I can't make that second part of the corner, so I'm going to lift. Well, I've had to lift because I've been bouncing. But dab the brakes? That doesn't make any sense. It's like... But really, although the G70 was behind, it was only really, you know, still sort of level, 3 thousandths down by the middle of the lap. It was losing out on top speed. Yeah. And then got in and lost out on top speed again. And then didn't do a very good hairpin apparently. I mean, that hairpin, as soon as a minute, I lost at least 3 tenths, but then gained a little bit coming back out. But then look at the bleed away on the straight, and down there, and then the bleed away on the straight again. Again, he's quicker in a straight line, that's for sure. See, what's this? Did it on the throttle. Yeah, that's bouncing out the first corner, isn't it? And I'm trying to get on the throttle to steal a little bit of time on the way in, but then braked, lifted, dab. mean, that's just making it so stabby on the throttle, and steppy as well. Rather than feeding it on, I'm just like do it rather than do it. And I thought I was always do it. Wow, this is good. I'm learning so much about my driving. My driving is absolutely shit. It's so shit. Even when I'm trailing off the brakes, well, I think I've done it well. McGann sort of trails off in stages. Yeah, that kind of bang, and where you think you're going bang and then going like this, you're actually going bang and then that and that and that. But that all happens in the space of more time than I thought. Actually, is that real time? 1, 2. It's not 3 seconds. There's no actual timer, is there? I mean, I was riding the throttle and the G70, I was braking and still, well, I was still full throttle, then braking. Oh no, I wasn't then. I was a little bit in the McGann to start off with. That's a blip downshift. Really, what it wants to show is drive shaft torque, if you like, rather than engine map throttle, because these downshift blips are well confusing, because obviously you're in between gears or changing gear, or technically the clutch is in and it looks like you're reapplying the throttle, but you're not. And you can see from the speed at the top you're not, because you're slowing down consistently. And then trailing brakes off and starting to put throttle on, and again I'm dragging the brakes or dragging the throttle, putting the throttle down whilst I'm still on the brakes, but I know I do that. That's a bad habit. GT7, bad habit. Throttle braking, but it's not, it's throttle accelerating. Bad habit, bad habit. But it's a bad habit, GT7 teaches you. And then that's probably wheel spin in the McGann, I imagine. As is that little bit at the top. Yeah, that'll be wheel spin. Upshift, upshift. Throttle lift before I'm braking, but that's not so bad. I'm fully off the throttle there just as I'm coming on the brake, so that's not so bad. And I applied the brakes smoothly in both there, although I had to reapply throttle. It's a throttle brake went inverse. The G70, if not completely. Yeah, but I tell you what is interesting is took a bit more curbing in McGann, and both things are, because you can't in the G70. But where you think you're getting it back and putting the power down really early in the G70, just not at all. Not at all. Good on the different lines as well. I was trying for wide in, tight out in the G70. But it didn't really gain me anything. In fact, I lost time. The conventional line was quicker in them again. Huh. And although I do get a little bit ahead just there. What does that do? Oh. Okay, so get a little bit ahead just there. Otherwise, still got the liveries. Just realised. It's a little bit ahead because I got on the power a little bit earlier, but it's really not much, and the McGann just claws it back. Huh. And then, of course, on the straights, it's edging ahead, but I see what it's doing. It's equalising the two cars, because that's half a second ahead. It's not half a second ahead. That's a bit shit, actually. It's only giving you the lines difference, isn't it? Earlier on the brakes in the G70. Use more curb in the McGann. And better straight line speed. What's change mode do? Ah, change mode is the actual gap. Right, yeah, there you go. Look, it's miles ahead. So if I go back to the... So, McGann, you can carry more speed over the curb because you can. And although the G70 can get the power down earlier, it catches up, but then loses out on top straight line speed anyway. Can't ride the curbs as much. And then though I've got a better exit, that's not helping. And the McGann is just gone down the straights. It's just gone. Cool. Alright, that's what change mode does it. It's right. Yes. Okay. And coming over the line, it's... Do that again. But it's so obvious when you play it like that how much more straight line speed it's got. It just leaves it for dead, doesn't it? It's not doing the change mode thing now. What's that? Oh, it's doing 118. I mean, it does get that about 117. It's only 1 mile an hour slower. It's just so much further behind on the lap. I can't move my pointer. Why is that? It's stuck. Oh, because I clicked on something. Yeah, that's really cool. Our map scales up and down. At least their graphs look just as bad. Yeah, they're just as bad and all over the place. It's not just me then. Cool. But bloody hell, my driving technique was terrible on those data loggers. Absolutely. That's it's not lap technique, it's driving technique, which is terrible. But hey, I'm no alien, so, and I'm too old. When you're well over half a century old, you're not going to compete evenly. Anyone about? Oh, full setup. I don't know who's my friends. It's all dead, isn't it? Who are these weird fucking around rooms to free roam? Knock at the door. Anyway, I think it might be an idea to go and rent sport. Where was I? That's just people fucking around. What flag is that? Don't recognise that flag. I need to sort out a lap on this marina as well. Got an hour. No, at least, you know, Gilles Villeneuve, it's like ride, not ride on the kerbs. That's it. Only ride, not ride on each chicane. Bop applied, but it's not because you've got bop off in the lobby. Dead. New tracks. Spec 3, blah blah blah. It's dead. Have a look. The motor car. Sort of in between ride and not ride. Yeah, it's got ride, not ride. Still all over the place, eh? doing 2 seconds off than I was doing in the McGann. But it's got fuel and tyre wear on, so it's 1 second off, maybe half a second. And he is in the Mexico. Too leggy to tell what he's doing, really. Sort of avoiding riding the curve, certainly in that bit anyway, no? Unbelievably late on the brakes in this thing. Teammates. All except this guy. Rather shooting the curves, we could on the exits. So it stopped displaying lap times again on the right hand side. That's why it's on those few simple line shapes and then just absolutely mullered it with sponsors. But somehow it looks good. It's just going to crash. It's just going to crash. Oh, for fuck's sake, no. No. Fuck off.